We, the representatives of diverse range of South African civil society, organized labor and business, faith-based and community organizations, sectoral networks, academia and the media, pledge allegiance to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and declare that we have established formally the Defend Our Democracy movement as a progressive civil society movement in South Africa. Our vision is to spearhead the development and coordination of a civil society movement and organize active citizenry in defense of our constitutional democracy that is participatory and that serves the best interest of all who live in South Africa. Our mission is to defend our country from any action that seeks to undermine, weaken, or threaten constitutional democracy in South Africa. Our aims are to act as a coordinating and convening body of South African civil society that subscribes to democratic organizational principles, promotes human rights, and enhances democratic values and processes embedded in our Constitution, develops a societal front against corruption, state capture, and political destabilization in South Africa, ensures accountability of political parties, government, and public administration, and demands effective governance in the country, and works to stimulate public interest in democracy and the practice of participatory democracy. Defend Our Democracy will articulate the socio-economic and political aspirations of its members and society in general, and organize peaceful and democratic opposition to any sphere of government and its entities insofar as their policies, decisions, programs, and/or administrative actions violate the Constitution. Our Constitution, which was drafted to be a binding source of national unity and which guarantees South Africans' political and socio-economic rights and liberties in a participatory democracy, is under threat. Glaringly, this was evident in July 2021 due to the unlawful and insurrectionary activities of corrupt forces in our society that are opposed to democratic rule, the rule of law, and constitutionalism. These democratic forces must be opposed in our democracy. The Constitution provides a framework for a political freedom and bread development agenda to redress historical inequalities and uplift the material conditions of South Africans through the various generations of rights, the rights it enshrines. However, poor service delivery is exemplified presently by the water crisis in the city of Tshwane and in many municipalities countrywide, and the daily cuts in the supply of electricity to communities through Eskom load shedding is disrupting the lives of millions of South Africans and doing untold harm to our people and our economy. Simultaneously, organized criminal syndicates, large-scale corruption, and the systemic capture of the state by an organized network of compromised politicians, public servants, and private business interests have over the past decade weakened our democracy and placed at risk the ability of the state to ensure all our people live with dignity. This was confirmed by the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. Parliamentary oversight and the accountability of public representatives have been undermined by the state capture and electoral system that hinders accountability to citizens. This has eroded the public trust in political parties, parliament, provincial legislature, municipal authorities, and the wider government. Defend Our Democracy believes that such ills in our society cannot go unchallenged. The people's voice and cries must be heard. Inequality, poverty, joblessness, and violence, which we inherited from apartheid, have been made worse by a decade of state capture, corruption, and maladministration by the government. We envisaged a new economic model that is inclusive and leaves no one behind. That means people's basic needs, and is characterized by the values of empathy, solidarity, and social and climate justice. Defend Our Democracy believes that we must shape our own destiny. We no longer can rely on political parties to do so. We have the power to make our living conditions, and civil society movement we are launching today must play an indispensable role in the development of our country and in defense of our democracy. The national provincial election schedule for 2024 must afford our movement and our people a chance to have their voices heard. Even as we declare the Defend Our Democracy movement will not contest elections, it no longer will accept glibly the promises of career politicians and make-believe manifestos of political parties. It will champion the hopes and aspirations of its constituents and the people of South Africa and hold politicians and parties accountable for their actions. Defend Our Democracy will monitor the elections nationally and provincially to ensure that the elections are free and fair and meet the test of our constitutional democracy. We believe that the present manner in which coalition governments are being formed is entirely undesirable. Current coalition governments are fragile, unprincipled, and self-serving mechanisms for political parties and elites. They are unstable and unfocused on serving the needs of the public. Defend Our Democracy will campaign for transparency, openness, accountability, and service to people as a basis for coalition politics in our country. It is time for South Africans, irrespective of political party affiliations, to confront the pain of the present and the past. Democratic renewal and change are overdue. We dare not fail in changing course to achieve the vision of those who went before us, including those in more recent years, for whom no sacrifice was too great in their courageous action to usher in and defend our democracy. Now is the time to take back our democracy. We must make our constitutional democracy meaningful. It must enable the full expression of people's power, where citizens are empowered to become more active, rightfully exercising their political agency. We call for a democracy where the conduct, ethics, and integrity of public representatives and public servants are beyond reproach, where openness, accountability, and the service to the people is starting point and non-negotiable in practice. We do so in the best tradition of the United Democratic Front as we celebrate the 40th anniversary of its founding year. Thank you.